Boom, welcome back to the Sebs Show, everybody. It's your boy Sebs, co-host Gib. And it's been a while, man. I've been sick for 2 weeks, been in the hospital and whatnot.
Welcome
Super
back.
sick. Yeah, super sick. Just some stomach problems and whatnot, throwing up all kinds. Um, Glad to be back, though, to be breaking down UFC Austin. Cowboy versus Medeiros here. Good card, man. I like this card more than the card last week. The 221 card. I enjoyed the 221 card though. I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that. The card I thought it was gonna be way shittier than it was, and I don't know. Something about like Tyson Pedro and Tai Tuivasa and all those like Aussies get me juiced. Yeah, they're good, man. And then Volkanovski put on quite the performance. Cash big for me. Yeah, just a lot of guys came through for me last week. And such a great performance. How about Yoel Romero, eh?
How'd you like that fight, by the way?
That was great, man. Yoel, what a knock right at the end there. That was a crazy uppercut. While Luke was on the floor there, I thought like he was like Luke was gonna be unconscious for a while after that.
Yeah.
And he was coming up to him.
Rushed.
He's coming up to him after. I love you, Luke. I love you, Luke.
I was listening to Matt Serra's podcast, and he had probably one of the best descriptions of it, because at the end of a fight, you don't really want to kiss and hug too long, but this guy's in your face now, and he's really like hamming it up like, oh, I love you, Rock. Oh, man, it's such a good fight. And all you want to do is, like, get off me so I can vent off and find out what I got to do after this. Terrible. But I mean, hey, Yoel's really taking it, and I'm feeling a Robert Whittaker fight. That'll be good.
Yeah, the rematch would be real good to watch. But let's go ahead and break down this card. We got first up Oscar Piota taking on Tim Williams. Piota nasty with the BJJ.
Yeah.
Vinny Magalhaes and Pure Jiu-Jitsu or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was Vinny Magalhaes he's beaten. This guy's nasty at his jiu-jitsu, as you saw against Jonathan Wilson. Like his nickname in Polish is like Vice or something. He's just dangerous. And
Oscar?
Yeah, Oscar.
His nickname in Polish is the General. Imdalo?
Is it?
Yeah.
They were saying
Imdalo, right?
They were saying it meant Vice or something.
Like, is it Vice?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm not sure. It was General in Polish. I'll have to check that out again though.
But he beat Jason Radcliffe in like fucking 10 seconds with crazy right hook or whatever. What was it? Left hook. And then
oh yeah.
You saw what he did against Jonathan Wilson. Looked great against him. Dropped him at the end of a round. Got back control a few times. His jiu-jitsu's on point. His stand-up is pretty good too. Doesn't use his kicks as much as I would like. He doesn't utilize it. But he's pretty busy standing up. And now he's going against Tim Williams, who has like pretty much been on the local scene for a while, but he's been on Tough a few times. I think he's been on 2 seasons as Tough, and it just hasn't worked out for him. He's kind of like a gritty grinder, man. Gonna stay on you the whole fight and be in the clinch, and he's just like right that clinch breaks. He's a big boy too. Might be able to fight at 205 if he wanted to. Him against Piota, I don't know how this ends up. I was leaning Piota, but I guess I'm gonna stick with Piotr here. I'm not willing to. When I was doing the tape, I didn't see what I wanted to see for Piotr for me to play him at whatever price he's at.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he did play him. Good luck. But fucking, I didn't see much from him. But I do think he wins this matchup. How about you, Gib?
Well, I thought that their jiu-jitsu actually match up pretty well against each other. I'm not sure if you went too far into Tim Williams. He had a pretty good grappling match with Noah Devore. It was a super fight, just submission only, which went to a draw, but it got pretty interesting near the end. And Noah Devore is starting his MMA career. He's getting lots of subs. Obviously, he's a bit of a one-trick pony, not a lot of KOs. I think Oscar might have him in the hands department exactly, but I think Tim Williams' jiu-jitsu is still pretty good, and it can rival Oscar's. But I think Oscar put a lot of fight into the Justin Wilson, making him really sweat on him, and he had back control the entire fight. I'm surprised he couldn't get the choke, but I mean, if I can take the back of somebody who's really good standing, why not, right?
Yeah.
And he won that fight very well. So it's going to be close. I think this one's it's a little iffy, but I actually might take Tim Williams to cause an upset here.
Yeah, seriously, you like Tim Williams, eh?
Yeah, I think his jiu-jitsu is not too bad. It's just, again, he's been TKO'd early, so might not be very good in the hands. But I think his submission could be a factor if Oscar kind of pulls guard or something like that.
I'm just looking over something, but Tim Williams has paid his dues on the local scene. I think there's a possibility for an upset, but I'm going with Oscar Piotr.
Yeah. And he has 2 losses to Anthony Lionheart Smith, eh?
Yeah, he does. At CFFC or whatever. Anthony Lionheart Smith is no joke, though.
No, yeah, he KO'd him like early, so he has a problem with guys who rush him. So I mean, if Oscar does that, I think he has him.
Yeah, and Oscar has a few quick knockouts as well. So
yeah, the left hook, right?
Yep. So you gotta be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Joshua the People Warriors Bergman, and taking on Alex the Great White Morano, and right now, I'm honestly trying to look up what's his record in the UFC.
Joshua Berkman?
Yeah.
It's up there, man, because he's been in and out, correct?
He's been in the UFC twice. His most recent stint.
He was in WSOF for a while.
He's
since 2005, pretty much, man.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Started off with lots of submissions and gets lots of decisions.
He's like 1-7 right now in his current stint of the UFC. And back in the day, he had a few wins. But yeah, man, this guy I think he's on his way out. Is pretty much where I'm getting at here. He lost it. He got knocked the fuck out by Drew Dober. Got choked out by Prazeres there. Went to a split with Zach Otto. I don't know how, but he went to a split with Zach Otto. Lost against Zach Otto.
Yeah.
Paul Felder beat him. He beat KJ Noons, and then I'm pretty sure that was KJ Noons' last fight. Let me check real quick. Yep, that was KJ Noons' last fight. So KJ Noons retired after that fight. So he beat a retiring KJ Noons.
Mm-hmm.
Got knocked out by Patrick Cote. And
then
got choked out. And then he lost to Hector Lombard, I'm pretty sure. But they ruled it a no contest because I think Lombard popped.
Yeah.
but he hasn't been doing good recently.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he have, man? This guy has nothing standing up. He has a decent body lock or clinch that he goes to against the cage, and that's about it, man. His ground game's not that good. He's got nothing on bottom to offer if he's on his back. Standing up, he gets beat the fuck up. He gets knocked out all the time. And I think against Alex Morono, who's a black belt in Taekwondo, just a very dangerous striker, very technical striker. I think Morono gets the job done here quite easily, quite handedly. And I have 5 units on Morono at minus 271 and minus 278 to win 1.83 units. Max bet on Morono. So very, very, very confident in Morono to get the job done here. How about you, Gib?
I think that's a good bet because Alex Morono, super light in his feet. He's got a lot of good fast high kicks, especially return high kicks. Really good at coming right back after a kick misses or even after he grabs the kick. Sees on the outside a lot. He could be blindsided with a few ugly punches, which is what I'm afraid of, at least in terms of a veteran who's Joshua Berkman. Obviously, his recent performance doesn't really show me he can come out with anything super difficult for Alex to get around, but maybe a little awkward is the word. He throws a lot, Alex throws a lot of singles, and he can be predictable at times. He opened up Muntasiri with a really good elbow and spinning back fist at the end of the second round. I thought that was a pretty cool fight. You got to see some nice skills that Alex has. I think someone's gonna knock him out big time. He stands up really tall and he's got the hands down a lot, but he plays with a lot of people so well. He's an interesting stand-up guy. Joshua Berkman, yeah, he is getting up there in age. He used to get a lot of submissions back in the day. I guess a lot of guys had a little working progress wrestling defense there, so he was able to take advantage of a lot of that. Obviously, being one in his last five, not the greatest. The KO loss to Drew Dauber, big left hand. Takes a lot of punches when he's in fights, and just the right one will find it. So again, Joshua Bergman's going to need a lot of toughness and maybe hope to give him a problem that maybe Alex Moreno hasn't conquered before, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think Alex Moreno takes him out possibly early, maybe even another single round knockout. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and next up we got Sarah Miraz versus Lucy Padova, and initially I was looking at a bet on Lucy Padova here. She looks very underrated. Very good striking. Uh, she's kind of like fucking Valentina Shevchenko.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to say she's that technical, but like that's like kind of how she fights, like with the point fighting and everything. Um, I think this is an easy win for her.
Padova, yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty tough.
She's going against Mirai, who's an armbar specialist, and basically all she goes for is that, and she pulls a guard all the time, flops to her back. I don't see Mirai offering anything on the feet for Padova,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. I don't think she's got the offensive takedowns or offensive wrestling that is to take down Lucy Padova. Padova got robbed, man, by fucking in that fight against Lena Landsberg, her first
Mm-hmm.
her UFC debut, and then she beat Jin Yong Kim. She's dangerous. I think she wins this fight quite handedly. I gotta do more tape. Might place a bet on her, but I'm thinking about already looking at a bet at next week for UFC Orlando. So
Mm-hmm.
I might stay away and just keep it the few bets I have now. But I think Lucy Padova gets this done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a little different on this one because and it's similar to what you said early. Sarah Moraes always goes for arm bars, but Lucy Padova puts her arm out there for the arm bar. Um, I was watching a early fight of hers uh, today against an opponent, and her opponent actually got her in an armbar because she was a little late in taking her arm out of guard, and like the triangle kind of started, but it she had to turn it into an armbar and had it hanging for a while, but then Lucia was kind of able to wiggle out of it. She had it pretty high and she had 2 feet on the ground, so it wasn't that bad, but it shows that maybe someone who's a bit better at it, who goes for it a lot, could get it. But I think Lucy is way better at striking than Sarah Moraes and Jessica Andrade Ashley Evans Smith fight. Or sorry, the Jessica Andrade fight showed that. My bad. I got frazzled there. She lost out striking to her, so she can get beat to the punch a lot. And Lucy's pretty tough. She stands in the place that you can hit her, but she can also hit you. Has a good leg kick and really pushes pace even after getting hit, and doesn't mind throwing more punches into the mix. So it's gonna be close. But I'm actually might take Lucy Padova on that if the armbar doesn't go through. But I'd say if she loses, it'll be by the armbar. She can't get it out.
I'm gonna have to differ with you on that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think she has the armbar chance. That's it.
Yeah.
If she doesn't get the armbar, she's gonna lose. That's like in jiu-jitsu. If you're facing somebody with only an armbar, even in jiu-jitsu, you have a better chance at winning.
Mm.
Because in jiu-jitsu, an armbar specialist isn't always gonna get the arm. Like so imagine in a UFC fight, especially standing. I think Lucy Padova gets the job done, and I don't know. I might end up placing a bet if I really like her. But like I said, looking at a play for next week already. So I'm trying to get that play locked in before prices change or anything. But yeah, man, that's what I think pretty much.
That's solid. So Lucy does have the striking, man. If you only have armbar to look out for, I'm sure she knows about it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's on the top of the list.
And next up, we got Sanchez versus Sanchez. So I don't know about you, man, but I think Sanchez might win this.
Well, one of them has to.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of first names.
Roberto Sanchez versus Joby Sanchez.
Who are you taking?
Who am I taking? I'm leaning Joby.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Joby from what I saw when he fought in the UFC previously to what I saw in the Contender Series is a big leap. I think he knows how to win fights now. Roberto Sanchez, if he doesn't get top position on you, he's just in trouble. That guy's not the. I was expecting a lot more from him, but
do you think it's because of the well-roundedness that a lot of the people who he's getting in with have, or do you think it's just he didn't prepare enough for the at least for the striking?
Well, I don't think he has the striking Roberto Sanchez, and then he got choked out as well. He got choked out bad by Joseph Rana's tight choke. I'm actually watching it right now.
I thought that was a crazy fight because he even gets him down first.
Yeah,
Robert Sanchez gets that really sneaky takedown he normally gets because he rushes you early. But I mean, if he doesn't get a choke or a sub off of that early little scramble, it seems like he's kind of out of options until the round starts up again.
Yeah, and just just the fact that, like, I don't know, man. This guy's paid his dues on the local scene. He was the LFA flyweight champ, but against Joby Sanchez, I think Joby's going to be a little bit too much for him. So I'm going to go with Joby Sanchez here for the win. No bet, but going with Joby Sanchez for the win here. How about you?
Yeah, I'm taking Joby Sanchez on this one too. I think he's the better one out of the stand up, at least. He's been in wars with guys before in the UFC, and now he's coming back into the UFC. He just has to really take out somebody who I think a bit of a one-trick pony, at least. I mean, the guy has no KOs unless he gets one in Austin. So, I mean, it's a real close. I mean, unless you are really good at striking in that time off, I can't see him beating Joby Sanchez. And how good. So I think Sanchez takes it on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And next up, we got Jeff Hands of Steel O'Neal versus Brian Camozzi. I think that's a cool nickname, Hands of Steel O'Neal. But I think on Brian Camozzi. Camozzi's whatever, man. He fucking, to me, he's a jobber. Got knocked out by Chad Laprise and Randy Brown, exactly. Has an issue with taking hard shots, and Jeff Neal's no joke, man. He gives hard shots. He fucking very dangerous with his left hand. He's knocked out Chase Walden in the Contender Series with his left hand. He's just dangerous, man. He explodes over nowhere, and that was at 185 as well. He fought at 185 for the Contender Series. He's a true 170er. And they list him as a middleweight, so he's a big boy, man. And his wrestling is no joke. He'll pick you up and slam you. He is no joke in wrestling. And if you the one fight that he did lose recently that I watched was him versus Kevin Holland, and that's just a great fight.
Yeah.
If you should, it's on YouTube and everything. You guys should just go watch it if you haven't. Kevin Holland's gonna go to the I think Bellator. I think he's fighting at Bellator 195, and I see this kid in the future going into the UFC. So take that loss, and like I'm not sure what to expect of it, but to me it's like that kid's no slouch, and I'm pretty sure that fight was at 185 pounds as well. Even though Kevin Holland's a 170er, I think he had the 185 title, and that fight was at 185, even though they're true 170ers. But I remember that. Well,
you're right. It wasn't 185.
Yeah.
Because Kevin Holland's at 185 now.
Oh, is he?
Currently competing. At least it looks like it, because he fought Hayward Charles recently, and he's at 180. Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe that fight was at 185. Kevin Holland's competed in the past against like somebody on the main card, Curtis Millender at 170. So we're talking too much about Kevin Holland, but man, he's no joke. But like I'm saying, Jeff Neal is I think he's gonna land the shot on Brian Camozzi and put him away in the first. I got Jeff Neal. I got 3 units on him at minus 199 to win 1.5 units. And yeah, man, I like him a lot here. How about you?
I think Brian Camozzi, he shows why he's got the jiu-jitsu game on. Because he shows it. He can get the rear naked guillotines. He used to have some KO knees early on, but obviously now the step up in competition in the UFC, he's not headlining anymore. Now he's on the UFC cards, and Randy Brown proved to be a bit too much for him. With guys who really swing in the pocket, he just takes that one shot that you don't want to take that puts you kind of to a position where you're getting hit by an even bigger shot. I actually don't think he did too bad on the ground with Randy Brown. He was able to kind of keep him off and fend him off for a little bit, but the damage that Randy had put on him early had already settled in. So once the striking started, Brian Camozzi couldn't really get it back and go back for those takedowns and put Brown in more submission attempts. I mean, I think that's the only way he can maybe take down Jeff Neal, because in the in Jeff Neal's fight that we were talking about against Kevin Holland, Kevin Holland seemed to threaten him a little bit with submissions and kind of, make him think a little bit. So it kind of made him lift off a little bit, put a little less pressure on him, and kind of regain his or let Kevin regain his conscience back and get back to the fight. But I mean, Jeff Neal hits hard. There's the reason why his name is Hands of Steel. And in that fight, he even landed against Chris Holland too, knocked out his last few opponents too. He either lives or dies by being knocked out because he plays that crazy of a game plan. So I think he takes out Brian Camozzi as well. And until they at least put him up against somebody who is as well more seasoned, but also maybe even can threaten the submission or even go for better takedowns. I don't think Brian Camozzi would be able to. I think Jeff is a little too strong and would give him a lot of trouble early.
Yeah, I believe so as well. Next up, you got Flash Gordon, my boy, Jared Flash Gordon versus Diego Ferreira. And I see a lot of people on Diego Ferreira, the Diego Ferreira
Really?
train. Yeah, a lot of people. He's taken 2 years off, so that's already a red flag for me. He from USADA. The guy's top quality. I don't get me wrong. He's only lost to Benil Dariush and Dustin Poirier, but if you go back and you watch his fights, man, the guy's he's relentless, but it's like he uses his steroids, man.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, he's a third-degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's very, very dangerous on the mats. I think Jared Gordon is going to keep this standing, and Jared Gordon has a substantial advantage in the striking department, I believe so. And I think he's very relentless, and he pushes a very good pace, and I think he gets the job done here, man. I like him a lot in this fight. So I got 4 units on Jared Gordon at minus 229 to win 1.74 units. How about you, Gib?
I mean, Jared Flash Gordon, always enjoy watching the hand speed of him. His takedowns are like football-like. Loves the ground and pound. Good wrestling, whether it's defense or he's going for takedowns. He's ready for lots of situations that fighters put him in, and he's probably geared up for a ton more that people are going to put him in. Remember there was one fighter who had like overhooks on him, and while they were kind of stumbling, I'm pretty sure Jared Gordon still takes him down and like as if he didn't even have it. So he's challenging just to keep stable, especially when he's rushing you or putting you up against the fence or throwing hands at you. So he presents a lot of problems. And I think the time off is a little too long for Diego Ferreira to take hold of, especially he's off of the roids as well. So I mean, hopefully nothing but Flintstone vitamins into this fight, and and he does well. So he does have some scary submissions, and I haven't really seen Jared Gordon put in too much submission trouble. So that could be his golden ticket right there.
He's a Renzo Gracie brown belt.
Mm. Yeah. So, I mean, unless Carlos puts him into some danger or maybe even threatens it, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I think Jared Gordon is taking it though.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying it, like Jared Gordon's too hyped up because of his the opponents he's facing, Michelle Quinones and Hawker Diaz, but man, you gotta eat what's in front of you.
So, yeah, it was only his first 2 fights,
and he looked great in both his fights. I don't know what else to say, man. I think I like him a lot here. But so I do have 4 units on him to win 1.74 units. And we have entered the main card.
Here we go.
First up, we got Super Sage Northcutt taking on Thibault Guthier. And man, Sage has looked fucking incredible in his last fight.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. This guy took a year off, worked with Team Alpha Male, and he's looking like a fucking animal. Destroyed Michelle Quinones. Quinones was like scared to throw punches, and Sage was rocking him with all these counter shots and everything. Very quick, and he was exploding very well, using his gas tank to a great extent. He was good for all 3 rounds, and he was just he's a monster at 155. It looks like, man, he looks like if they keep putting these cupcakes in front of him, he's gonna eat them. So, and Thibault Guthier, who's been knocked out so many times, I think it's knocked out again here. Like his last fight, okay, cool, you knocked out Andrew Holbrook. Good job, man. Good for you. Like everyone's knocked out Andrew Holbrook, but Sage Northcutt, that's a different story. Good luck solving that puzzle, Guthier. So I got 4 units on Northcutt at minus 266 to win 1.5 units. What do you think?
I agree. I think Sage is looking really good, especially since his last fight. Obviously, he's worked on a lot of the holes that he's been expected to work on, and obviously it shows. He's gotten a lot more aware of what situations he's putting himself in. He even seems a little less explosive, a little more calculated. So I think that kind of goes hand in hand with how he's doing now. The year off obviously did him good. So, this is kind of a setup fight for him. He should be getting past Guthier pretty easily. But, I mean, yeah, Guthier had to be fed Andrew Holbrook in order to maybe look a little bit better in the UFC, especially losing his first 3 there. But, I mean, he presents some problems. They're both about the same height, so the distance is about the same. I mean, the speed in terms of kicks probably goes to Sage, but I mean, Guthier could be tough at certain times and could drag Sage Northcutt to one of those spots that he doesn't like to be in, where he still is kind of lacking experience. I mean, he had a great fight, but I mean, I'm sure there's a few areas that maybe might not have been ironed out. So maybe if Guthier gets to one of those and possibly lots of wrestling and maybe tires out Sage, we could see a repeat of an early submission like the Brian Barberena fight. So you never know. But I still think Sage has. I think he's going to win by knockout actually early, maybe second round.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win the second round as well. Actually, yeah, I think so, man. But I got, like I said, 4 units and minus 266 to win 1.5. Very confident in this. Um, I got Sage all day. Next up, Steven Peterson versus Brandon Davis. I'll let you take this one, Gib.
Steven Peterson, I know we talked about him before on the show. Super scrappy fight. I actually don't think it's a good move of Brandon Davis to be jumping into a fight so quickly. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think he should have took time off. He didn't really get hurt or anything, but
No, no.
he should maybe take some time off in between. This is not the best fight for him as well.
Hmm.
It's not like this is like a very favorable matchup for him. So
Yeah.
I think,
Uh, and that's kind of why I felt that he even put Benito Lopez into some spots that were a little cautious. Um, he's obviously coming off of a KO win of his last fight, and he really drags fighters into deep waters, forcing people to make moves that they're not exactly uh, that they don't exactly want to make at the time. He keeps distance with a lot of his opponents, making them get a little too close and really pump the pressure up when he needs to. So he knows what he's doing. But I mean, Brandon Davis looked a little beatable against uh, Kyle Crash. Yeah, Bosniak. So I mean, I think it's a little too soon for him to be running back into it, especially against Steven Peterson. I think that's a bit of a tough fight that you might have to train a little longer for, and have like a bit more of a thought out camp. But if he thinks he can run into it, I mean, Brandon Davis still has awesome potential. I mean, even he's good in those high fight situations, like with Austin Arnett. So he knows how to handle himself, and I guess we'll see what happens against Steve Peterson. But I don't think it's a good fight for him. So and I think it's a little quick. So I actually take Steven Peterson on this one.
yeah, I'm actually siding with Brandon Davis on this one. I think
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Davis is a better striker. Steven Peterson's not that good, and he's coming up from bantamweight. I know he's a true featherweight, but I think Brandon Davis is the superior striker. Um, Steven Peterson's just like a dog, man. Doesn't stop. And like this is this. I'd bet this fight closer on Brandon Davis if the line was closer. With the line being as wide as it is, like it opened up super close. It opened up nearly pick 'em or something, or
Mm-hmm.
like minus 120 for like Brandon Davis. I would have bet Brandon Davis at that. But like this a little bit fucking too much for me. So I'm passing, but I do side with Brandon Davis here. All right. So next up we got Diego Alves versus Curtis Melender, and man, Diego Alves hasn't fought since the Patrick Cote fight. He dropped out of the Mike Perry fight,
Oh yeah.
and then Berkman dropped out of his fight. Or was it Berkman or Otto? I think it was Otto. No, I believe so.
All right.
Now I have to check.
When was that?
Zach Cummings. That's who it
Zach
was.
Cummings.
That's who it was. Zach Cummings. All right. Um. Yeah, and he looked good against Patrick Cote, but that was against retiring Cote. I think he's coming into this matchup and everybody's banking on Chris Melender not looking that good, and like the only reason I'm passing on this fight is this guy's fight IQ. Chris Melender, he spams high kicks like a motherfucker, and he's dangerous, but uh like at times you can see like Curtis doesn't know fucking what to do in there. Sometimes he gets a little bit lost, and
Yeah.
he's young. He's young, but he gets a little bit lost in there, and he goes for this. He doesn't set up his high kick as well as he should have. He'll spam it a lot, and if he gets lucky, he gets lucky. But um, I'm going with Curtis Millender here. I think he does. He wins on points against Thiago Alves. This is for me. This is a pass. This is too hard for me to pick. At plus 200, I'd make a play on Curtis
Mm.
Millender, but not right now. Plus 150, I'm all stacked up on players already. So at this price, I think I'm gonna pass. And I whoever's betting this fight, good luck, man.
This fight definitely seems like a high kick versus high kick. I mean, Thiago Alvarez has it, and Curtis Courteous Millender has it too. Beat Kevin Holland in a 3-round fight in a decision. So obviously we know he can stand with him if it comes down to it. And Thiago Alvarez is someone who you really it's a dice roll to stand with. I mean, so many highlights, like the Jordan Mean fight was a really good one, I thought. The big kick to the body. I think Thiago puts a lot of fear in that, he's going to clip you with that shot or at least die trying. And you can get him in decisions and you can definitely, hit him with that one big shot. But, I mean, if you don't put him down, he's going to be coming for that big kick and that big move at all times. So, I mean, even if it's not exactly Curtis's day, I mean, I think magic can get pulled off at any time. You never know. But I think Curtis has this as well. He's young. He's I think he has in the UFC. He's his first fight in the UFC, and so it's not the easiest for him, but I think it's what he needs to get in, and I think he'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's the job done here. And next up, we got the Texecutioner James Vick taking on Francisco Trinaldo. And man, James Vick's last fight, he was dangerous. These guys, are they both ranked number 14th? It says they are both ranked number 14th at the lightweight division. That's really weird. James Vick deserves to be a little bit higher, but and I think he gets the job done here, and he gets a little bit higher. He's 8-1 in the UFC, man. He's no joke. He's fucking a huge lightweight, beautiful probe, great teep, great jab, long jab that keeps his reach and shows you how dangerous his reach is. Goes for nasty dorses. This kid's a total package, and I think on the feet he's better than Trinaldo. A lot of people are going to disagree, but I think he's better than Trinaldo on the feet. Trinaldo's only path to victory is outpointing James Vick, and I don't see that happening. I see Trinaldo loading up on a lot of shots and getting countered, and I see James Vick getting the job done here in front of his home crowd in Texas. So I got James Vick all day. I got 3 units on Vic at minus 211 to win 1.42 units. And yeah, man, James Vick all day.
So obviously a deadly fighter, been in the UFC for 5 years. I mean, how do you not get at least anywhere close to a title shot or like number 1 contender spot with only 1 loss and
He's 8-1.
3 wins previous to that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's 8-1 in the UFC.
I don't understand how those numbers work out. This guy obviously should have had a title shot at some point. I really hope that this one gets him on the map for it. uh, or at least breaks him into the table to talk about it. I think he beats Trinaldo easy. Um, and Trinaldo, no slouch whatsoever either. Going to war with Yancy Medeiros in that fight, and even beating Paul Felder. Had trouble with Kevin Lee, obviously, um, and has been in the UFC as long as James Vick. Uh, these guys are both absolute veterans. And James Vick is actually younger, so that's crazy. I like this fight. I think James Vick will win, but I think either of them need to start talking deals because these guys deserve title shots at least.
Yeah, at least on James Vick's behalf, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
But James Vick deserves at least a top five, top 10 opponent.
for sure.
Give him that. Give him somebody in the top 10. Nobody wants to fight him, man.
Yeah.
Um, so next up, we got Derek the Black Beast Lewis versus Marcin Tabora. Take it away, Gib.
This one's close. I mean, Tybura and Derek Lewis both have their troubles when they're up against a lot more experienced fighters. I mean, we saw Derek Lewis go down against Mark Hunt, where a lot of guys didn't see that happening. He got into a war with somebody who's experienced in doing that and got caught.
I had Mark
And
Hunt in that fight, by the way.
really,
Yeah, I bet him.
I had Derek Lewis and absolutely trounced. Um, I still like that fight though. And Tybura going up against Fabrizio Verdum and kind of finding a lot of difficulty in that, but having success with Arlovsky and Victor Pesta and then gotten parties like that. So these guys have both shown their flaws and shown where they can be good. So I think this is a really cool matchup for both. It's gonna be a really good fight. I think Derek Lewis wins this, but I was actually, when I originally saw this fight, I was originally gonna pick Tybura just because of the last performance, and that's kind of what I was going off of. But I mean, Derek Lewis, he always brings it. It's always right in your face, and I just rather put my money if it's toe to toe on Derek Lewis. But I mean, things can change real quick in there. So this is a fight I'm waiting for actually.
Wow.
What do you think?
Well, I like Marcin Tabora in this fight.
Yeah,
I just think Derek Lewis is his time's up, man. This guy's fucking. He already tried to retire once and he came back.
yeah,
Marcin Tabora is the better striker, I believe, on the feet. Better high kick and everything. Very dangerous. If he connects, he can put you out. I'm not saying Derek Lewis is easy to put out, but you never know, man.
oh,
Especially with these heavyweights.
I felt he hurt Verdum a few times actually.
Oh yeah,
Tybura in that last fight,
oh yeah, for sure.
he put his neck back a few times.
And he's dangerous, man. He's got some nasty shots inside the pocket. He's a big boy. He's good on the ground as well. But if Derek Lewis gets on top of you, the game's over. He'll just pound you out like fucking a monster. And gonna have to side with Marcin Tabora, but don't be surprised, man, if Derek Lewis pulls this one off and fucking gets the underdog money here, gets the job done. Uh, it's just hard for me to bet either of these guys here. I'm not sure what Derek Lewis I'm gonna get. If I'm gonna get the one who waits for 4 rounds, like against Shamil Abdurrahimov, for 5 rounds to do something, or if I'm gonna get the one who takes a shot right away and tries to knock out Travis Brown. Um, I'm not sure who I'm getting, so not in that case I'm passing. But I do side with Marcin Tabura. Next up is the main event. and we got Yancy Medeiros taking on my boy Cowboy Cerrone, who's always been one of my favorite fighters. But now I think Yancy's a little bit more of my favorite fighter than Cowboy.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, just the times he's been on, we just had a 45-minute
sure.
interview with him. Go check that interview out. Great interview with Yancy Medeiros, 45 minutes. Expressed a lot of stuff. Just a fun interview, man. Talk a lot of shit. And but in this fight, I think he has the advantage on like I'm not sure on the feet if he has the advantage, but like the relentlessness, the Hawaiian toughness, all that stuff, he has that. And this is not even like Cerrone might be able to put it together a combo, and a lot of people are saying like Yancy could get knocked out, which is true. Yancy could get knocked out 100%, but I don't know, man. I like Yancey's strategy this year standing up. I think he's got good wrestling. I think to keep this on the feet, and I think Yancey's going to be pressing forward all the time, and he's going to be throwing nasty combinations and hooks and everything. And if he catches that chin once, I think Cowboy is done, man. He just like he said, he already fought a Cowboy. In my opinion, the tougher Cowboy right now, and he's gonna fight the other one right now, and I think he gets the job done. I'm not sure, like fucking, if it's a finish or if it goes all 5 rounds, but I think Yancey gets the job done, and he shows us why he's the new wave of the Hawaiians with Max Holloway there. How about you,
Mm.
Gib? So, and
Uh,
by the way, I got 2 units on him at plus 130 to win 2.6 units. Go ahead, Gib.
no, I mean this fight is pretty down the middle. I think Cerrone is a great stand-up fighter. Uh, Very vicious, vicious kicks, vicious striking. He always looks to pinpoint a really good combo down. He's really good at narrowing down what kicks to use, what kicks not to use, where to stand, how to kind of feint and throw his punches. So he's very methodical like that. Again, part of the camp that he has, obviously, he has him sparring a little bit less and only kind of keeping fit enough to go into every fight, which he's completely cool with. I think has maybe shown a bit of the flaws in that. He tends to take a while to kind of get booted up, I think, and there might be a bit of more flash knockdown potential there because of the lack of sparring, maybe. Get clipped real fast and he drops. Never know what Yancey, because he does brawl in the pocket, and he's always threatening for good underhooks and always threatening some good jiu-jitsu. He said on the show that he was potentially going for a submission on Don Cerrone. He's only really been submitted by Benson Henderson, so I'd like to see him pull that off. So I obviously want Yancey to win. That'd be nice. And I think if it does happen, it might be by submission, because we haven't really been able to see a good struggle with Cerrone on the ground, at least as of recent. It's mostly been striking, so hopefully we get to see that. I think it'll be a good fight, though. I think Yancey has it. Hopefully he gets a submission. I'm saying maybe taps him in the third.
You think so, eh?
Might as well put it down.
What? How does he tap him out?
I say there's already a bit of a struggle going on the ground. He gets position, starts to ground and pound a little bit, gets an even better position, and kind of ropes him into a some sort of mount, maybe arm lock or something.
That's possibility. It's definitely a possibility. But yeah, I think Yancey gets the job done, and it's rock and roll with these bets, guys. Fucking little bit lethargic today. Sorry about that. I'm just getting a little better right now. So, but whatever. At least we got this video done, and let's God bless and good luck, man. Let's get these bets cashed. Easy,
Go,
boys.
guys.